All right, so hi, Jules.
Hi, Ed.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. We're streaming from,
The Flyers skate zone,
that's right, in
South Jersey.
beautiful South Jersey, where the Flyers have just gotten off this sheet of ice. The prospects have, actually. And you got a chance to talk to some of the prospects. So,
Absolutely.
so who'd you talk to?
Talked to Claude Giroux and to James Van Riemsdyk right after practice.
Excellent. Probably the two big, maybe the big stories, I guess.
Yeah, probably the two most likely to make the team eventually. Most likely Claude Giroux will make it this year, and James Van Riemsdyk's already elected to go back to the University of New Hampshire for his sophomore season.
Right. So Claude is, but Claude's done, right? No more juniors.
Claude's done with juniors, so he's officially going to sign his entry-level contract, and will be here for training camp and most likely be either a Phantom, but most likely be a Flyer.
So what did you think of Claude?
I thought he was great. I mean, he's definitely one of the best players on the ice. During practice, he had a scrimmage, which was pretty interesting, earlier before they did their power skating drills. And it really cool guy. Very excited about the opportunities that he had this past year. Had a really good season in Gatineau for the Quebec Major Juniors, and was called up for the Flyers in emergency recall. And is hoping that all of those experiences that he's had the past couple years, past 3 years here at Flyers Prospect Camp, will pay off once he makes it to training camp this fall.
So you got a chance to talk to him a little bit about that. We're going to show that video later as soon as we figure out how to get it off of our camera. But in case we don't, tell us a little bit about he actually was pretty funny the way it all happened last year for him.
Yeah, it did. There are a lot of rules within the NHL about calling players up from juniors, because that is why you have an AHL team, is to call up for in case of emergencies. And the Flyers wanted to bring him up, and of course there are rules in place to prevent that. But because of the amount of injuries and the players that were injured, they found some loopholes and were able to bring him in. Unfortunately, there was another loophole that said he couldn't play.
Right.
And then they found a loophole that could bring him in. So he found out the day before the game. The game was actually in Ottawa that the Flyers were playing, which is Claude's hometown, and it's only 20 minutes away from Gatineau, which is where he played. And he was actually sleeping when he got the first phone call in the morning, the day before this particular game, that said he was going to play. So he called all his friends, all his family, everybody got tickets, and then about 4 hours later, he got a phone call that said that he couldn't play. So he had to call everybody back again. And then a little later on in the afternoon, he got another phone call saying, okay, you're going to come meet the team at the hotel, you're going to play again. And so he called all his friends again, and they're like, look, figure it out, yes or no. We need to know what to do. And so eventually he did end up playing in that game, and even had an opportunity in the shootout, which is a pretty good day for him, playing on the line with Scott Hartnell and Danny Briere that game.
Yeah, and this year they're talking about the all-French line. Correct?
Yeah, the French-Canadian line.
Briere, Gagne.
Gagne, and Giroux.
That'll be something else.
Got to make the team first.
Got to make the team, yeah.
Can't get too ahead.
Funny, I can't imagine what it would be like to, say you were the hometown you grew up in, suddenly a team's coming there and they want you to play in the NHL, and you're just like in that building that you grew up going to.
The funny part was that he thought that it was, that they were just asking, what would you think if they called and said you were playing, and because he was still,
right.
that sleepy fall.
And Briere's an idol of his too.
Yeah,
he was
he grew up watching them. Well, they both play,
And they both can get.
Gatineau.
Right, so that's crazy. That's really cool. For those of you in the U.S., Gatineau is literally across the river from Ottawa, but it's Quebec, so it's the province of Quebec. So it's a bridge, it's a bridge away, but it's French speaking, where Ottawa is English mostly, although both, because it's the capital. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's so close. It's literally like just going across a bridge. So, and then you got to play for the NHL team tonight. That's pretty cool. You also got to talk to one of your college guys, of course.
Yeah, one of my college guys.
JVR, as we call him around here.
Yeah, JVR. He has already elected to play his sophomore season at the University of New Hampshire. He had a pretty good season last year. He was Hockey East, a finalist for Hockey East Rookie of the Year, made the All-Rookie team. Didn't have the best season that he was looking for, but I think that's part of the reason why he wants to go back. I think that he feels he has a lot more that he can work on and take the opportunity. We talked a little bit, there's an interview that we did that as well. Hopefully we can get that for you too.
We'll have it.
We talked a little bit about the advantages of playing in college, and a lot of it, and even you mentioned it, how he's really filled out his frame over the past year.
He looks like a different guy. From the draft, when I saw him at the draft the first time, I'm like, geez, this kid looks like he should shovel your driveway. Now he's a man. He looks like a man. It's amazing. I mean, we're talking just literally over slightly over a year ago.
Yeah, so he's obviously been able to put on some muscle and fill out that frame of his, and he's hoping that another year of that sort of conditioning, working out during the week with games on the weekends at the college level will really benefit him and help bring his game to another level, that he'll be able to come back to prospect camp next season and reevaluate what he plans to do.
Well, it was kind of neat. You know, you might could end up seeing him at the end of this year. You never know.
You definitely could.
You know, like
Definitely
the way college stuff
Well,
works
I
out.
will say this, though. At the end of the year, my personal opinion, UNH is definitely a front runner pretty much every year to make it to the NCAA tournament. So we'll see how far they go.
Yeah,
and
sure.
then depending on that, because it will take you right through pretty much to playoff,
Right.
the end of the college season.
Right, definitely. Now it's interesting. He's wearing number 10 on the ice, and he always has reminded me ever since the first time I saw the guy play of John LeClair. Very it's real, and it's kind of cool to see him wearing number 10 out there. Very much a John LeClair type player. Just quick, very good around the net. Anybody who watched the tournament around Christmas time last year saw that. Yeah, the junior tournament saw that what he can do around the net. He's got that ability. He's quick, and he was wearing number 10, so he's buzzing around, and then, you know, Giroux really does remind me of Briere in so many ways.
Yes. Yes.
They're similar. I mean, bigger than Briere a little bit.
Bigger than Briere.
But almost everyone is, right? I mean, you're bigger than Briere. Sorry, Dan. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, he's bigger than Briere, but still has that same kind of style.
Yeah, he's got that style, the same style. Very quick. Plays very well with the puck. So we'll see. You know, I'm more excited to see him in training camp because it's obvious that he's the best player on the ice here at prospect camp. He's one of the older ones at 20, and you know, I more want to see what he can do when he's surrounded by NHL players and not just NHL prospects.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we also have a couple other guys we're going to try to talk to later in the week as we go on. Who else is here really that's interesting?
Ryan Parent, Steve Downey, are who I'm going to try and get in touch with tomorrow.
They both actually saw time last year for the Flyers.
Yeah, they both played for the Flyers last year, stayed with the club all throughout the playoffs. Ryan Parent didn't see any game action in the playoffs until the very, very end of the Eastern Conference
He
Finals.
looked good, though. He looked good when he came in.
Yeah, he did look very good when he came in, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they learned watching in the press box and going through that experience, even though they weren't on the ice.
Great. All right, so that's a little preview to something else altogether, but just wanted to film something for you guys for quick today from the prospect camp. So thanks, Jules. We'll talk to you at 4, I guess,
You got it.
for the big show.